Now at 11, heartbreak and new questions surrounding that deadly midair crash between a passenger jet and a military helicopter in Washington, D.C. What went so horribly wrong, and how long will it take until all the victims' bodies are recovered? We have new details tonight on what is now the deadliest U.S. air disaster in almost a quarter century. The black boxes from the American Airlines regional jet have been recovered and are now at the NTSB labs for evaluation. These are new images just into our newsroom of that work that's being done right now. In the meantime, about 40 bodies of the 67 victims have been recovered. However, finding additional victims can only happen once the wreckage is lifted to the surface of the river. We're also learning new details about those victims. They include figure skaters and coaches returning from the recent U.S. National Championships in Wichita. We begin, though, with the latest on the investigation. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger from our New York sister station is in Washington with new reporting tonight.
Here at Reagan National Airport, the recovery effort ground to a halt today after recovery workers pulled 40 bodies to the surface, but that leaves 27 more trapped in the wreckage at the bottom of the Potomac. Everyday people whose lives ended in a flash after the midair collision that knocked their plane out of the sky. By nightfall tonight, traffic was back to normal at Reagan National, but 24 hours after America's deadliest plane crash in nearly a quarter century, dozens of bodies were still trapped in upside-down wreckage in the icy Potomac River.
I can't imagine a worse scenario for rescue operations.
DC's fire chief told David Muir rescue crews found the plane just 10 minutes after it splashed into the river. But with a water temperature just above freezing, it was already too late. Satellite imagery shows the debris field and oil slick oozing down the Potomac.
It was loud, it was unusual, it was something you only hear on video games.
Some people thought they'd heard a bomb when the U.S. Army Black Hawk rammed a nearly full American Airlines jet in midair, igniting a fireball over the nation's capital and shocking other pilots nearby.
Did you see that?
American Eagle Flight 5342 would have been 10 minutes early to arrive from Wichita, a nearly full regional jet with 60 passengers and 4 crew. The Black Hawk had 3 service members aboard. Of 67 people, not a soul survived.
Our mission is to understand not just what happened, but why it happened, and to recommend changes to prevent it from happening again.
Today, the NTSB recovered the flight data recorders from the American jet, though many questions center around the Black Hawk, which flight data suggests was flying at about 350 feet when it should have been no higher than 200.
The military does dangerous things, it does routine things on the regular basis. Tragically, last night, a mistake was made.
Everyone who flies in American skies expects that we fly safely, that when you depart an airport, you get to your destination. That didn't happen last night.
The NTSB usually travels to the scene of an accident, but in this case, the crash came to them, their headquarters and lab, literally just a mile down the road. They're expecting to issue a preliminary report within 30 days, but the final analysis of what went wrong and how to prevent it from happening again, well, that could take more than a year. Outside Washington, Josh Einiger, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Many of the victims on the plane had attended the U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita, Kansas, and were returning from the camp that followed. 13-year-old Jinna Han and her mother Jin Han are among the 67 people killed in the collision between that American Airlines flight and a Black Hawk helicopter near D.C. Wednesday night. Other victims are Russian figure skating world champions and coaches Vadim Naumov and Evgenia Shishkova, 12-year-old Brielle Bayer and her mother Justina. 16-year-old Spencer Lane and his mother Christine were also killed.
We started our family through adoption, so Spencer was born in South Korea, as was Milo. The best way I can describe him is just was a force of nature.
I feel for the athletes, the skaters, their families, but anyone that was on that plane, not just the skaters, because it's just such a tragic event.
Some of the other victims are flight attendant Ian Epstein, a father, stepfather, and husband, and pilot Samuel Lilly, who was recently engaged and inspired to fly by his father, who was an Army helicopter pilot. Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by clicking the subscribe button for our YouTube channel, and download the ABC7 Los Angeles streaming app on Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV, and Roku to watch on your TV.